Hi, Talar. Thanks for signing up for this portfolio review. I have your portfolio website up here, and I'm going to walk through it and see if we can make any updates or changes or how we can improve it. So let's get started. Go ahead and share my screen really quickly. So I have your website here. I just clicked through it really briefly. I'm pretty sure you're using Wix. I've seen this template before, starting off with the homepage. So I'm not a big fan of all of this negative space, right? One, I don't think the background image necessarily does much for you as a designer. Sure, there's a little bit there, maybe your chill, relaxed, island vibe sort of thing. But in terms of you as a visual designer, I'm not a big fan of the image, and I'm not a big fan of the lack of context I'm finding here. So all I see is visual designer, your name at the top, and then projects, about, and contact. And another reason why I don't like this is because I have to scroll pretty far down to get to the projects. And so what I recommend is trying to come up with some sort of headline or, brief sentence of what you do and who you do it for. That's really key. Give people a little bit more context of what kind of designer you are, and if when someone visits your site, um, what you can do for them. Another thing I would look to try to update is you can have this background image, but maybe also include an image of yourself on the header in the header. As I scroll down to your project section, I'm personally not a big fan of organizing projects or bucketing your skills as a creative, as a designer. So this idea of designs, illustrations, experimental, um, for me, if I'm presenting myself as a visual designer, I want to show people, I want to hit people over the head that I'm a designer. I do design projects. This is what I do. And if you want to present yourself as a designer, but also have a background and interest in illustration, can you just show that as sort of upsells or, additional skills that you have that come along with you as a designer and working with you? Um, and then below, this is also why I'm not a huge fan of this template, is like there's these really big sections that I have to keep scrolling to find, sections like about. Visual-based designer in California, an artist working to elevate the visual designers to inspire. I also enjoy painting and keep doing project. I think this typography is really tiny. And like this template, because it's like big scroll sections, isn't really doing much. It kind of just makes like everything look small. And so I'd consider like maybe I would think about like having, updating the header, updating the project section potentially, instead of having buckets of your skills, show your most interesting and favorite projects. And then just below that, have a contact section and or contact form, and then move the about section to a separate page. And on that about page, since this is only a section, you can have things like your experience from school, any jobs or roles that you've had, any sort of awards or things that you've participated in, stuff like that. I'm going to go to the projects page. Okay, I can't. That's enough. I don't like this template. If I go to designs, so I was kind of, I'm not sure how I feel about when I click into designs, there's branding, packaging, layout. I don't hate it, but again, from my perspective, when someone comes to my website, they may or may not, most likely may not know the difference between all this stuff. They know like they have needs that they need a designer to help them with. They have requests that they need a designer to help them with. And sometimes presenting, like again, bucketing skills within design in these different ways, doesn't really come off as like, wow, this is a super talented designer. I think it more so comes off as the case of like, what are they focusing on? Like what is their main thing that they're good at? And so I prefer to present them as just a project, the Fira restaurant branding. And then, yeah, there might be some packaging that I've done in there, There's going to be some logo work that I've done in there, but ultimately it's about the project and the client and working with them. I'll click into this because I'm curious. And so this is kind of what happens when you start to bucket projects in this way, where you have one image of a package design that you did, and it's just one paragraph of text, and that's it. And that doesn't really give me much to hold on to, or it says much about your experience and your role in creating this design. To be sold on a Bed Bath private label. So like, are there any additional designs that you did for this? This I would present as like design work for Simply Essential, which is by Bed Bath and Beyond. And like, that's your headline because people know Bed Bath and Beyond. Design work can encompass a ton of stuff. So if you happen to work on other things outside of this packaging, you can include that in this project, and you can kind of walk through. It gives you more room to walk through things like your experience in working with the team, or who you worked with, what were some of the concepts and discussions that you were having before you kick this project off. And that this idea of how to present your design work kind of goes for all of your projects. If I go back to designs, I click into this one, and I noticed that this was a PDF. And so what's stopping you from actually getting this on the website? Mediterranean style cafe named after an island. The goal is to give the feel of a restaurant that offers freshly prepared food. Quiet about it with an upscale restaurant. Yeah, so like, this statement is not not enough for me. I know it's a brief statement, just kind of gives an overview, but then I'd want to find out, like, how did you come up with these elements? How did you come up with this logo? What was the input from the client? Did they have like a look and feel before that? And I'm also not a huge fan of opening up a PDF to go into this. And again, that's why I kind of mentioned, like, what's stopping you from getting this on your website page? I know you're working with Wix. I know Wix is not the most friendliest. And so if you need recommendations for portfolio pages, or a new portfolio platform or templates, just let me know in email. Let's see, does this go to about page? No, this goes to the section. This goes to a section as well. Yeah. So I would, try to think about how you want to organize your projects. I know you're showing a lot of work, and that could be overwhelming to think about having to redo all of these projects that you've done. But what I would say is pick your top three, pick your favorite three that you love to talk about, that you feel like you did the best work, and just focus on those and build those out into like really nice case study pages. And from there, after you do that, then consider updating your website look and feel, your portfolio website look and feel. Is the theme totally aligned with your personality, your sort of vibe as a designer? And can you create sort of like a better flow from page to page, rather than having to click into these sections or open up PDFs and things like that? I hope you found this review helpful. If you have any questions, you can always email me, and have a great day.